Okay, so for my 100 subscribers special, I'm going to be doing a Q&A. So leave questions in the comments below. Really, just trying to ask about pro wrestling, realistically. I don't feel like answering super personal, like, life questions. Not that any of you would really care. But, yeah, just try and keep it to pro wrestling. I mean, it doesn't bother me too much. But, yeah, pro wrestling questions ideally. Just as the announcement, 100 subscriber Q&A. That's what's going to be going down the channel. Hopefully that happens in the next couple of days, because we're getting a couple of subs every day, really building the channel, so that's really good. Realistically, that video, hopefully it's out this weekend, we'll see. Anyway, also, one other thing, WrestleMania review series, I just want to address this as well. It's not really going to go ahead, to be honest. Like, I'm not really enjoying making the WrestleMania reviews, because the ones from the 2010s I enjoy making because I watch them live, but in the 2000s and the 90s and the 80s, I didn't watch those Mania shows live. Like, the WrestleMania reviews I'll do from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, probably looking at WrestleMania 1, 3, 10, 14, 15, 17, 19, 20, maybe like a 21 or a 23, that kind of thing. So that's what you should expect from the WrestleMania review series. I'll probably post 26 sometime in the next couple of days because that video is finished, but outside of that, I'm not just going to be pumping out like a WrestleMania review every day because I feel like I'd be forcing content. I don't want this to feel like work. I want to feel like I'm really enjoying making videos for the channel. So that's what you've got to look forward to, the WrestleMania review series. And other than that, obviously the content will be pretty similar to what I would usually do. So anyway, moving on. The WWE Network. This video, it's all about why I unsubscribed or I cancelled my WWE Network subscription. Now, there's a multitude of reasons for this, and it's an interesting little concept to talk about, so I thought it would make a great video. Now, the WWE Network, when it came out in 2014, it was awesome. It felt ahead of its time. It felt like, well, not ahead of its time, but it felt like a great function to have because instead of just buying DVDs to have all the old pay-per-views, you could get all the pay-per-views, all this, documentary content, plus the live, fresh pay-per-views, the new content, your NXTs, your 205 Lives, all that stuff, other documentary specials that they're airing, like, WWE 24 or WrestleMania, that series they did on WrestleMania. So all this stuff. And then, as the years went on, it's just the content, it's gone further and further away from that live, interesting, engaging new content. Especially with NXT. Ever since NXT went from the WWE Network Live to USA Network, ever since then, I haven't really seen a point in having the network. Honestly, like, I've had the network, but I've been thinking to myself, I'm not watching NXT live on the network, so what am I getting used for the network? Like, granted, people who defend the network and justify having it always say the old pay-per-views, and fair enough. A lot of you guys who watch me are WWE reviewers, which, in that case, I can completely understand why I have the network. It's a godsend from that regard. Having all these pay-per-views, like, coming up, we got the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Plenty of you guys have been doing your Elimination Chamber review series, which have been really good. I like just, going back, seeing, thinking about those shows. But personally, I've watched all those shows already. I haven't made reviews, I don't plan on it, but I don't feel like going back and just watching Elimination Chamber 2012 just because Elimination Chamber 2020 is coming up. Like, I don't feel a need to do that. Because, realistically, not to try and flex or anything, but I understand and have knowledge of pretty much every kind of pay-per-view of pro wrestling. I know what happened, what kind of storylines they were going for. Granted, I may not memorize move by move each match, but that's not the point of a pay-per-view. It's just to digest the content and see how the story progresses. And I feel like I know about that from each pay-per-view. This is the thing. Ever since the WWE and the network took NXT from the network to USA, I felt like I'm forcing myself to watch network content. And keep in mind, the network isn't cheap, okay? Well, it is, but when you're thinking about it from a money perspective, in Australian dollars, it's what? It's like $17. Which, granted, it's the same as $9.99 in the US, it's just the dollar equates differently and whatnot, finance, whatever, but I don't know. I don't feel like paying $17 a month to try and force myself to watch some old pay-per-views. Like, I want to feel like there's lots of new, fresh content to watch, and at this point in 2020, I don't feel like there is. Like, honestly, the WWE Network now, as far as live wrestling content, just live wrestling content, what is there? Because NXT, as I mentioned, that's on USA. We all know that now. So that airs a day and a bit after NXT goes off the air, or like a day after it goes off the air. So you're not watching it live on US or on NXT. You're watching it live, like whatever. You're not watching it live on the network. You're watching it live on USA. 205 Live, it's gone well. Like, thing with 205 Live, when they got the cruiserweights and they had them on Raw in 2016, the cruiserweights felt half important, and then they moved them to 205 Live, and the audience just got split in. The audience got split up altogether. Now, pretty much no one watches it because nowadays there's just no reason to care. Buddy Murphy, Cedric Alexander, those guys, Tony Nese, actually Nese is still there, but Murphy and Alexander especially, they left, and now there's just no reason to care. Literally, it's like I'll turn it on randomly every now and then, and it's like Arya Davari against who's even on the show? Davari and Tony Nese? Really? Really? Is that the best they've gotten this show? Like, come on now. Like, that's 205 Live. There's no reason to care. No storylines. Drake Maverick's the GM still. Like, really? That's the best they've gotten the network for live content? Drake Maverick on 205 Live? And now they've got the new series Ruthless Aggression, which is like their main drawing point for watching the network at WrestleMania season. But I watched one episode of that, or I watched the first episode, like in full. I'm thinking to myself, this isn't very good. Like, it's alright. It's basically just, it's pro WWE propaganda. That's what it is. Genuinely, I watched it just, no rose-tinted glasses. I was just trying to be, real about watching it, and it's just so propaganda. It's, we needed to change direction. We went in the right direction, and we made a great move. Ruthless Aggression, yeah. Like, that's what the series is. The first episode was good, but there's no reason to care. Really, that's how I feel about it. And, like, going forward, they'll probably have, like, 12 to 16 episodes of that. Because that's what they did with the Monday Night Wars series. So now they're doing the Ruthless Aggression one, and, okay, granted, it'll probably be good content to watch, but I don't feel like that justifies the subscription. And after TakeOver last night, I feel like now's the best time than any. Because we're coming up on Super Showdown, a show that I'm not even going to watch. Well, I say that, I'll probably end up reviewing it, but I don't want to watch it. I just don't. Elimination Chamber is looking so predictable it's not even worth watching. Like Shayna Baszler in the Elimination Chamber against who? Who else, when Shayna Baszler is feuding with Becky Lynch, and they're obviously going to have a match at WrestleMania, who else in that chamber match even, like, no one stands a chance. Who else even in there? Natalya, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan. Why? Why care? So that's the Raw Women's situation, and a bunch of the other stuff. Like, what even else is the Elimination Chamber? Roman Reigns going to win the chamber match and face The Fiend? Or Goldberg? Like, I don't care. I don't want to see that. No one does. So the Elimination Chamber I couldn't care less about. WrestleMania 36, I'll probably end up just watching it illegally at this point. Or not illegally, but I'll just probably watch it on some random live stream. Or I might get the network for free and watch it free, because that's what the thing is, the network. You can get your free months and stuff, and like that takes away the point of actually buying a subscription as well. So that's another thing. Like, this network, the old pay-per-view library is great. Okay, if you want to go back and watch just any match ever, you can do that, and that's awesome. But I just don't feel the urge or desire to go back and watch a random match. Like, I give any segment or match I want to go back and watch, it's on YouTube. So I don't feel the need to go back and watch a whole pay-per-view. Like, I don't want to go back and watch a whole pay-per-view if I'm not reviewing it. And even then, I don't even review pay-per-views that much on this channel. That's not what this channel's really about. This channel's about more engaging, interaction, discussion, that kind of thing. I'm not, a reviewer per se. I don't know, a bunch of reviewers watch this channel, and, thanks for that, but that's not what this channel is for. Your channel, all good, but this channel, I'm not here to review all the No Way Out pay-per-views, or all the Elimination Chamber pay-per-views, because it's February. Like, that's not what this channel's about. So, when you take that out of the equation, you take NXT, being moved off the network into the equation, you take the fact that 205 Live is redundant, NXT UK, I just don't care. Very few people do. It's just, that promotion needs to do so much to try and be relevant, NXT UK. But do they even care, NXT UK? Are they just fine with being how they are? I think they are at this point. They don't need to do anything too drastic. A mid-card title, a better women's division, some booking changes here and there, but I think they're fine. So that's your NXT UK situation, and that's literally all they put on the network. Because, what haven't I covered that they put on the network each week? They had old Raw and SmackDown episodes from a month ago, No chance anyone's watching that. They put, what else? The Bump. They put The Bump up on there, okay? They do This Week in WWE, okay? And then they might put occasional, like, a WWE Chronicle, or a WWE Day Of, or the WWE 24 shows I like. The 24 specials I really like, but they do like 3 a year. Okay, so it's not really worth having the network just for that. I can just watch it online. Like, so when you narrow all this stuff down, and the fact that even after all of this, the company wants to move, like, the major pay-per-views off the network. Like, the only reason I have the pay-per-view, like, the network, is to watch the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, all those shows live in the comfort of my own home on the TV, knowing full well I'm doing it legally. But now it's like, I don't even have the desire to. I just don't care, because I'm going to want to digest the content one way or another. I don't need to be paying the WWE, who I'm ripping apart on a YouTube channel most days. I don't need to be paying them my money, okay? I'm going to be profiting off them without even giving them my money back. You know, like, that's the situation with the company. The network, I just don't feel like it's worthwhile for me anymore. And as a result, I'm unsubscribing. Because coming up on a Saudi show, that's a waste of time. If you're subscribing to the WWE network to watch a Saudi show, I don't know what's wrong with you. The Elimination Chamber show looks like that looks just like a random collection of matches that no one cares about. Because the WrestleMania card's already taking shape. The Elimination Chamber isn't going to really mold anything we don't know. Because basically the whole of the card, we have an idea of WrestleMania. We know what they're going for. We know it's Shayna Baszler, Becky Lynch. We don't need to see an Elimination Chamber match featuring Shayna Baszler to prove that. You know? So you take all of these factors, and also the fact that the network itself, as I said, yeah, we got the old pay-per-view library. We got all the documentaries. We got Mid-South Atlantic Championship Wrestling from 1983. We've got everything. But it's just, I don't care. And also, personally, my schedule and stuff, I don't have the time at the moment to go back and just watch network shows and force myself onto the network, take time out of my busy day to go on the network and watch all this content. Like, I don't have the time or the care level for it, the care factor. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I could, but I just don't feel the need to at this point. So, realistically, that's the video. Why I unsubscribed from the WWE network, the WWE network. That's why I unsubscribed. Hopefully you guys understand. I think it should be fairly understandable. I know down below, most of you guys will probably say that the only reason you have it's for the old pay-per-views, I'd assume, and that's well and truly fair enough. Because those old pay-per-views are by far the best part of the network. All the live stuff, there's no reason to even have it. You can just watch on watchwrestling.com or .in or whatever the link is. Like, you can just go on that site and watch all the live shows live. And then you don't need to pay for the network. And then, I don't know, like, I'm promoting illegal activity. I'm sorry, I don't really mean it that way. That's what a bulk of the wrestling fan base does. Don't lie to yourself. It's just, honestly, that's the truth. So, that's the video. Be sure to like, comment, and sub. I'm going to be doing away with WWE's business strategy here. They want to go from 1.43 million new network subscriptions to 1.47 million in this quarter. Well, I'm going to do them a disservice and unsubscribe from the network just to spite Vince McMahon and his vision. So that's what I'll be doing here. I've already unsubscribed, and this video was just me explaining why I did. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Once again, just recap from the opening. Q&A, ask pretty much pro wrestling questions. Anyway, I don't feel like any of you care about my actual life, but ask pro wrestling questions. That's the main thing. The WrestleMania review series is pretty much not off, but I'm not going to just force myself to review WrestleManias and throw out videos for the sake of it. Like, I want every video I make to feel like it's worthwhile and it means something, you know? I don't want to just be pumping out content for the sake of it and not really caring. Like, I want to feel pride behind every video, so yeah, that's what's happening there. I cancelled my WWE network. I'm proud of myself.